Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public information, nonpartisan service program designed to acquaint with the candidates vying for the 2022 primary races of Mayor, Salem City Council, Marion County Commissioners, and Polk County Commissioners. These interviews come to you through the producers of Capital Community Media, collaboration on questions and moderators from the Association of University Women, Salem City Club, the League of Women Voters of Marion Polk County, and the neighborhood associations. All candidates for these races were invited, and all but two chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the 7 questions prepared by the League of Women Voters ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and qualifications for the office, and a 2-minute closing addressing their goals for the office if elected. I am Amy Vandegrift from the League of Women Voters of Marion Polk County, and I would like to introduce Dynee Medlock, who is running for Salem City Council. Candidate Medlock, welcome, and we look forward to your opening remarks.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Dynee Medlock. I have lived in Salem, Oregon for 14 years in Ward 4. My husband, Mike, and I have 2 children. Our son, Ben, is 12 years old and started middle school this year. And our daughter, Kiana, is 10 and wrapping up her final year at Battle Creek Elementary School. Some experience I feel make me a good candidate for City Council include running my own business here in Salem, working with the South Gateway Neighborhood Association as a board member, and advocating for individuals in our community living with special needs. As a mom with a child affected by autism, I've spoken to lawmakers, and I know the importance of standing up for what is right and what is just.
Okay, thank you. And now we'd like to hear your views on our questions for this interview. Many residents would not understand the role of the council member. Why should they be interested in this race?
That's a very good question. And I can tell you from my experience when I first moved here to Salem and I was learning about all the different roles that people played, when I went through all the different steps from the neighborhood association all the way up into the city, there's something that is very important to everybody. And that is just how the city is run. You know, think about if you need a new stoplight somewhere to keep it safe, if there's something going on in the community, all these things that affect the community, you want to have someone that'll be a voice for you that you can go to and say, hi, can you bring this up at City Council so that we can work on coming up with a solution together? Because many minds make for a much faster and a much more complete solution.
Okay. How would you work on communication and outreach to local groups and institutions in order to improve collaboration concerning shared issues and problems?
Okay, that one I'm happy to answer. I can tell you from years of experience of working with many different individuals, be it young and old, that the getting information out, people get it in many different ways. In this day and age, many people assume everybody has access to a computer or the internet, but that is not the case for all of our residents that are in our city. So we have to think of everything as not just like one answer will fit everything. We have to have multiple ways of thinking about it. So I propose when we're thinking of, trying to reach out and really connect with people, we utilize all of our tools, all of our technology, from the basic pen and paper that we all, all of us grew up and know and love, to the more advanced options that we have for surveys and apps on the phone, to just, going out there and trying something. Hey, maybe one of our kids will come up with something. They always surprise me every day. I think another part is just being willing to communicate and, walk up to someone and let them know, hey, I noticed that this is going on here. How do you feel about it? It's a matter of just being open to communicate and know that we're all neighbors and we all have our diverse, feelings on how things go. And that's great, because that means we'll come up with better solutions. So my big thing is working on continuing to communicate and having our community grow closer that way and stronger, so that we can move forward on the future that we want for our city.
Okay. What proposals do you have for investing federal funding allocated for non-fuel vehicles in expanding the diversity of our public transportation?
Oh, I like that question too. Boy, this is great. So for me, if this feels like the biggest opportunity we have now, we have this big problem that is facing us right now. Things are changing, things that are really, affecting us in so many ways, not just that feeling of, oh my goodness, the weather patterns, fires, ice storms, all of these things. But the idea, it's not just scary where we're going, but promising and exciting. So what I would say for federal funds is, let's look at our city and say, hey, this is what we've got. If it was just up to me, but it's not, I'm going to ask other people, but I think we should build more of that infrastructure. So thinking about more electric charging stations for people when they get electric cars, implementing more solar around the city. I just got solar panels at the end of last year, and I've been wanting them since we moved here. And it was from incentives and talking to people that I was able to figure out my dream finally was coming true, that I was getting energy from the sun. And my neighbor down the street just started getting them too. So, more people are coming on board. I think really speaking with the businesses in town is an excellent idea as well. I don't know the logistics. I'm not an expert, but from an outsider, we have a lot of infrastructure in place already for gas stations and things of that sort. And I think that we should work with those businesses. We should find a way, things that they know already, so that they can continue to thrive and be able to employ people in an area that they love. Because, we're not getting rid of one thing, we're transitioning slowly, and we're doing it together, because that's the best way to do it, and will make Salem even better.
What are the options for housing the homeless in our city? How do we balance the plans for the city's micro shelter villages with neighborhood concerns?
That one is a very important one. And it is because it affects all of us so much in our town here. I think that it's really important for all of us, going back to being, open communication, that we know what we're working with. As with any plan, like if you were thinking in your family and you're working on a plan and you're thinking, I'm going to build something and I'm going to make it great. So right now, what we need to do is look how things are set up in our city, for zoning, for all the different things we have, and see what are our options, so it doesn't seem so big and overwhelming, and narrow it down a little more, and then having the neighbors continue to come in, because we've come pretty far in doing so many different things in the city, but we have a lot more work to do. So I think going over those plans and being very, very open with the community on what we're dealing with is incredibly important. I can tell you, I know many people don't realize that on a given night in Salem, there are 1,000 people that do not have homes. And that's a hard reality to swallow. So I know all of us in our community are very caring and want the best for everybody. So with that in mind, it would definitely come down to just, getting the information together, working to get feedback, and putting our nose to the grindstone, I guess, another way to think about it.
Okay. What are the plans for presenting the Climate Change Task Force plan to the public? How would you like to see it move forward for adoption? That's the Climate Change Task Force plan.
Okay. Well, I think I'm not an expert on that. I will tell you that, but from what I know, and with my background in technology and seeing how powerful it is to get feedback and to move forward, I think that it is critical that we have realistic, we show people the timelines, we show them different pathways, how we can do it, and what will happen if we don't do it. I think the climate action plan, I'm really, really happy that we have one in Salem now, just because we see it day to day, how crucial it is that we have it. So I would say, I would talk to people once again, but most importantly, we'd want to not just sit around and talk about it, right? We want to move forward and get our nose to the grindstone. So that means, really having these tough conversations and making these decisions that have to be made. Because it's not, I always tell people, if you're making a decision, if you're not making a decision or you're delaying it, you are still making a decision, and that's still affecting the outcome. So it's really important for us to be involved and be there. And I want to be involved and be there so that we can move forward quickly.
Okay. What can you tell us about the infrastructure bond measure coming on the ballot in November?
Okay. Well, let's see. If I'm recalling correctly, I was at the South Gateway Neighborhood Association recently, and we had a very nice gentleman who was presenting about the bond. And I can tell you that some of my big, things that stood out to me was paying for things such as, our city roads, I don't know if you saw in the Statesman recently, but they had some articles about some roads that really are dangerous and they fail. They don't pass the grade. So we really need, a good chunk of that is to pay for streets and different parts of the infrastructure of the city. Another part of that is going towards paying for, other services such as the fire department. And I remember someone asking a very good question on why are we getting new trucks? They look beautiful, they're shiny and everything. They look brand new. And I think we can only credit that to the staff and the firefighters that they do such a good job maintaining them that one would never guess that they have over 440,000 miles on their trucks. And if anybody knows if you're driving a car that long, it's a ticking time bomb on how long it's going to keep running until it stops and you'll need to buy it. So as in, for anybody who's looking to buy something, you want to prepare ahead of time before it breaks down so that it'll be available for use. And then I think there was a section on parks too, which I love parks, but I'll keep this brief because I do love to talk about these topics.
Actually, that will be my next question. What decisions should be made about our city parks?
Okay. So I think city parks are crucial, especially since after this pandemic we've been going through. I've heard from quite a few people throughout the city that the parks are a lifeline for them. Especially, it doesn't matter if you're a new parent pushing, your kid around on the stroller, or if you're an adult who's just running down, jogging. parks are very, very important, and they're precious in Salem. That's one of my favorite parts of Salem, is knowing that you can go to the different areas of Salem and there are parks. So a priority for me is, we'll look at those areas that, we have proposed parks, we have options for, things that could be a park or something else. I mean, really, it's important to talk to the neighbors about it, because some people, they may not, I don't think I've ever met anybody that did, but never say never. Might not want one there. They might want something different.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for taking time for the questions, and appreciate you doing that. And now I would like to invite you to do your 2-minute closing comments about your goals for the office if you are elected.
Okay, thank you, Amy. So I'm passionate about being a voice for my neighbors. I feel like this is the best way that I can help out the community. My priorities right now are a list of order of what I have heard from people are the most important things. I'll start with homelessness and affordable housing. I will continue to support efforts to coordinate social services and safe managed camping and transitional housing within reason. I will encourage more affordable housing and allowing a variety of other housing choices that do not create hardship for existing homeowners, because I know not every decision is ideal for the homeowners, and we really need to balance things out. I will continue to listen and be a good voice for residents who warn about unsafe conditions in their neighborhoods, and so that we can do something about it. I feel like I can continue to focus on Salem's climate action plan and focus on practical, affordable strategies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And of course, to also, because we were talking about parks, strive to increase the tree canopy that helps improve our community resiliency and beautify Salem. I just think that it's so important after that ice storm that we had, where we lost so many trees, that we work on bringing back some of those trees. And all this to say, I just want to help make sure that Salem has a bright future ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Candidate Medlock, for your help and your interviewing of your answering of the questions, and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Amy.
I want to thank Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and producer skills to use to create these programs. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk County for the design and preparation of the program, and to AAUW and City Club for help with the question development and providing moderators. And thank you, the public, for watching in order to become informed voters. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot issues, visit vote411.org. You have until April 26th to register to vote or make a change. Ballots go out on and are mailed on April 27th, and according to the new law, will be accepted if the postmark is before or on May 17th. Elections matter. Remember to vote, because your vote counts.